Okay, doke.
Hello, Howard Owens with the Batavian. We are doing another live stream interview, this time with Donna Saskowski, the Executive Director of ARC of Genesee, Orleans County. And we're going to talk about some of the things going on there, what's still going on as far as what services they're able to offer, and how this kind of soft quarantine is impacting the ARC. So, Donna, welcome. Thank you for your time. I know there's always a lot going on for you, so I appreciate you taking some time.
Not at all. It's good to let people know what exactly is happening. So I'm pleased about that. There's always something happening here, and we are regulated by the Office for People with Developmental Disabilities, and so we get a lot of guidance from that area and actually mandates of what we can and can't do during this time.
So first of all, just tell us how this overall how is this impacting ARC?
Well, we serve Howard about 800 individuals between the two counties, and quite a few of those people go to our day programs. That would include day habilitation in Elba, Albion, and Batavia, as well as our vocational services in Albion and Batavia, and all those have been mandated to be closed. So no one can attend those programs. That is about 160 people, and so they all have to go home. Some are in our residences, and some are in other residences run by other agencies, and most people live at home with their families. So all of those people cannot do their normal routine, like many of us, but they cannot have their normal routine of going to what I consider their job or their daily activity.
Is there anything for them while they're, not being able to partake in services, or anything, I'm sure that, you're concerned with their physical well-being and their mental health and their daily lives. Are there things that are available to them to help them cope with this situation?
Yeah, what we have done is that we've actually redeployed our staff who would be operating and running our day services into our residential sites where we can. And so they're running kind of a day service program at our residences.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we can't really do that for like the state operated sites. That's a little bit different because they're not really under our auspices. And some families are hesitant to have more people come into their homes. So people who live at home, we're trying to provide supports either telephonically or run errands or, make sure we touch base with them every once in a while. So we are trying to put those supports in. They still want to go outside like all of us do. And so we're doing little walks and minimal outdoor activity, into non-crowded spaces, but no shopping trips or anything like that.
Are there special issues with, helping your clients understand the importance of what's going on and how this can affect them and their families?
Yeah, absolutely. And the one of the struggles we're having is that we have about 100 people in our residences. And a mandate that came out 2 days ago is that they cannot go home to see their families. They cannot go home and come back. If they leave a residence, they have to stay out of the residence until this event is over. So we've been working really hard for them to understand that, it's not that their families don't want them, and, we're working safe. So some people have a very easy time understanding it. And of course, some people that we support have a lot more difficulty understanding why their routine of seeing their parents every weekend has changed. So we do work through it and let them know. And we're trying to use social media, a lot of telephone calls, a lot of reassurance, just to keep them connected.
Is there any financial impact from all of this for the ARC?
Oh, yeah. Well, in a lot of different ways. Right now, the state's not even sure how they're going to pay us for services that we would have given and can't give, but we still have employees. So Medicaid funding, it's always a challenge. If they don't give us that Medicaid funding, then payroll is tough to meet, but they're working through that. I know the state is trying to work through that. All of our catering jobs that would have been done, say, at the community center have had to be canceled. Things that we would have typically made, our contracts have really slowed down, so that's more revenue. So there certainly are challenges, and we're trying to keep track of that. And there's more expenses because we're an essential service. Our staff need to be prepared with gowns, gloves, extra disinfectants in case there is a positive. But so far, fingers crossed, there's been, not even precautionary quarantines within our residences. So I'm really happy about that.
That sounds good. We hope that it stays that way. Is there anything? Well, first of all, you mentioned the PPE gear, the protective gear. We've heard a lot about supply issues. Are you having any issues with supplies, or do you have what you need in the near term?
In the near term, I think so. I do want to say thank you to both Genesee and Orleans County Emergency Management Services. We put in requests about 2 weeks ago, and we've got some supplies from both counties. The one thing that we are lacking, and I think almost everybody's lacking unless you're truly a medical facility, is the N95 masks. We have paper masks, but the N95 is this. Luckily, our statewide organization, ARC of New York, has put in an order for about 50,000 to share with the chapters. Now, I don't know when those will come in. They're hoping within the next 7 to 10 days, and they'll distribute them. I think they're coming from Texas. So they're tough to find, and I'd like to have a few of those in place in case we get into a situation where we really need them. But we got hand sanitized, we got gloves. I was able to order disposable cover-ups for people. So right now I'm feeling pretty good if this doesn't last too long.
That's good. Is there anything else the community can do to help you out?
Well, I think it's just understanding that sometimes people with developmental disabilities right now are going to probably be walking out in the community a lot, maybe more, to be aware of that. Trash and recycling is still going on. I wanted to mention that in terms of our curbside is running as usual. Actually, we've picked up quite a few customers during this time, which is interesting. Not sure why that happened, but we are. But our recycling facility has closed to 3 days a week. I think we're running Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. I believe that's it. People don't need to get out of their cars. The staff there are doing everything for them. We're just trying to minimize that worker public contact. So understanding that, they don't mean to make you stay in your car, but you really should stay in your car for their sake and for everybody's sake. So trying to keep that going because we don't want trash to pile up. That's the last thing we need is more trash out in the roads.
Well, that was the last thing I wanted to ask you about was just the where things stood with those services. And what about your recycling center there? How are things operating on site there? And do you have to reduce workforce at all?
We've had to reduce workforce there a little bit. Because we're only open 3 days and we're down probably by almost 50% in terms of stuff coming through the door. So that I think down the road will impact us in terms of revenue. The other places we have about 17 people who staff our transportation department, but without any day services to provide transportation to. They are all not working at the minute. So that was a tough one to let people go. But, we're trying to support everybody. as much as we can, and we want them back ASAP as soon as we can get out of this.
Well, I appreciate your time, Donna. We've covered a lot of ground. Is there anything we've left out that you want to let us know about?
I know that people are really nervous and scared in the community, but I really want to thank our staff who are continuously going into our houses, and we screen every staff every time they come in. They have to answer the 3 basic questions, get their temp taken, and I appreciate that they're coming and really caring for the people we support, because they would not be able to care for themselves. And so if I didn't have that wonderful workforce, we'd be in trouble. So thanks to them.
Good. Well, thank you, Donna. I appreciate your time. This is Howard Owens with the Batavian with another live stream interview. I believe this will be the last of the day. We are going to try to later live stream the Genesee County Legislature meeting, if anybody's interested in that. I think that's at 5:30, and we have several interviews set up for tomorrow if they all come through, so be sure to check us out. Again, Donna, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, and have a good day.
You too.